Hey guys, it's Bex. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a reading vlog, trying to finish our monthly TBR, and I picked more books than usual for my November TBR, but we are doing pretty good. I had 7 books on there. So as far as books that I still need to read for the month of November if I'm going to finish my TBR, I have 4 books, and by the way, it is the 18th of November right now. So yeah, I'm giving myself from now till the end of the month to finish this video. So it's gonna be kind of a long one probably, and just see how many books I can read, and I can only pick books off my TBR. So the 4 books I have that I haven't read yet in November are Vicious by V.E. Schwab, Sorcerer of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, Morning Star by Pierce Brown, and The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I am pretty sure that I want to start with this one because it has been on a lot of TBRs in the past like 5 months and I still haven't read it. And I also kind of feel like it would be a good jump into this video because it is really short. It is like 260 pages and I'm really excited. I've heard really good things. The back says it's funny, tender, moving. It reminds us all exactly why we read and why we love. I'll read you the summary too because it's really short. A.J. Fikry's life is not at all what he expected it to be. He lives alone. His bookstore is experiencing the worst sales in its history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fikry the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. So I think that's what we're gonna start with, and then after that I really don't know what we will get ourselves into. These books are all like 400 pages or more. This one is like 500. So yeah, we'll see what I'm feeling after I finish the Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. Okay guys, quick update on The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry because I'm almost halfway through it. I'm on page 100 exactly. And how many pages is there in it again? I feel like I just looked. 260. So I am probably 40% of the way through since it's a short book would be my guess. I know I read you guys the back, which explains it well, but I still will give you guys more of a synopsis now that I'm almost halfway through, and I'm really liking it so far. So yeah, we follow A.J. Fikry, who is kind of grumpy, and he's sad because his wife died not that long ago, and his bookstore isn't doing well, and he has this rare collection of Edgar Allan Poe poems, like the back says, and his plan was to sell that and retire soon, even though he's only, I think he's like late 30s at the beginning of the book, but they're worth a lot. But then they get stolen, and so he just kind of has to go back to work, even though he's just kind of in a slump with his life, and he gets this mysterious, it calls it a package, which I guess is one way to describe it. Something is left at his bookstore that changes his life, and up to this point where I'm at, I think it's been about a year, maybe a little more, since the package thing was left at his bookstore. Already he's just kind of changing as a person. He is more willing to have books at his bookstore that people will actually like, versus before he was just very stubborn, like, I hate those kind of books, I don't care if no one buys the books I like, these are the books I want to sell. Besides the thing that was left at his bookstore, the other main plot point that's kind of starting to get more prominent where I'm at is there is this, I don't know what her job title is, but she like works for a publishing company that goes to people's like bookstores to try and sell these books to the bookstores. So she goes to AJ's bookstore, and so they kind of a couple times a year see each other and talk books. Obviously they both love books because, I mean, I guess you don't have to love books to own a bookstore, but he definitely does, and so does she. The back says that there is romance in it, so it's not a spoiler to say that nothing romantic has happened with them yet in this book, but I'm assuming that it's going to, which I'm excited to get more into. It's a very bookish book, which I love. Like, AJ will be kind of describing someone, and he'll say, if this person were the back of a book, it would be like this. There's been mentions of authors that I've heard of, Cormac McCarthy, the book Moby Dick, just lots of famous books and authors, and yeah, I'm really liking it. I definitely think that it probably won't be a 5-star read, but we still have a ways to go, and that could change, but it kind of gives me the same, like, cozy, heartwarming feelings as The House in the Cerulean Sea. It's really the only one I can think of that I've read. Maybe The Wishing Game as well, except that one's a stretch a little bit, but it's very, like, bookish as well, kind of like this book is. And it is a movie as well with, I don't know many of the people in it, but I know that Lucy Hale is in it, who's a pretty famous actress, and I've heard the movie's good as well, so I'm definitely going to watch it after I read this. I probably read, sometimes just for fun, I like to time myself while I'm reading, and I started timing myself at page like 43, and I believe I read 57 pages in 36 minutes, which is definitely faster than normal, I would say, but I think that's on pace to read 100 pages in an hour, maybe like 95 pages in an hour. So I don't know, that's just a fun little thing. If you sometimes struggle with like just sitting down and reading for even 30 minutes at a time, or if you want to try and read more, I don't know, I think it's fun to time myself and try to like read, not even try to read a certain amount of pages in a certain amount of time, but just to see how fast I read, because it differs between every book, and it's hard to say like my average reading speed is this because it differs with every book. But I was doing that, so that was fun, and it made me read a lot. So I'm probably gonna read more today. It's like 1:30, so still have a lot of the day left. I'm hoping to probably finish this tomorrow. We'll see how far I get today, and we can start another book, which would mean we are off to an amazing start with trying to finish my monthly TBR in the 2 weeks that I have left of this month. I don't think I have quite 2 weeks left. It's closer to a week and a half, I think. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that is what I think about this book so far, and I'm gonna keep reading. Alright, an update for you on the storied life of AJ Fikry. I have now finished it. I actually finished it yesterday after work. Again, it's a short book, so I read it in 2 days, which is kind of unusual for me. I think that shows how good this book was. I really liked it. I still keep to my earlier statement that I don't think it's a 5-star. Usually when I'm not sure if a book is 5 stars, I don't end up rating it 5 stars because I feel like I just know when a book is 5 stars, you know? So I think I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I really, really liked it. I did cry, and I wasn't expecting to at all. First of all, I didn't know like what this book really was gonna entail, but it really is exactly what the title suggests. It's about AJ Fikry's life and how this thing that happens to him that the summary talks about really changes his life. And like I also earlier said, it is so bookish, and if you love books and love reading, then definitely pick this book up. This would be like the perfect book to have as a part of like a book club. I think that's probably the shining star of the book. The shining moment is just how bookish it is, and something about it just hooks you without you even realizing it. I feel like. Really liked it. Highly recommend. I definitely liked this one better than Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is her other book that I've read. This one I think is definitely more universal. Anyway, that's my review on that book, and the next book that I think I've decided to read in this video, because otherwise I'm going to be very disappointed in myself if I don't read this book by the end of the year, which by the way, this book was on my 24 books I want to read in 2020. 2024 list, and so is this next one. So I will be able to mark 2 off of that list, which is so exciting. And that is none other than Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I'm a little nervous, but I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but also I rated the second book in the series, Golden Sun, 5 stars. And the first book in this series, Red Rising, I rated like a 4.5. Really liked it, but the second one was just chef's kiss. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard that this one is people's favorite. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of an emotional roller coaster and I'm gonna cry. On another hand, it also takes some more like brain power, concentration to read and understand, versus a book like this, you really don't need any because it takes place in the real world. This does not. This is a sci-fi that takes place on Mars, and I will give you guys a little synopsis of, I guess, the first book slash the whole series, obviously without giving any spoilers. So Red Rising follows the main character Darrow, and he, I think, is 16 when the book starts. He lives in this like caste system where there's colors for each caste, and he is a red, which is the lowest caste. And he and his fellow Reds have basically been living kind of a lie without knowing it, because the higher ups, the Golds, they are basically kind of taking advantage of the Reds because they think that they're less than and they can get away with it. But Darrow realizes the truth and he sets out to get even, get revenge, kind of. And that's kind of the gist without giving spoilers. So yeah, this is the third book. It's a trilogy, but then also continues with more books in the series, which I still don't really understand what that even means. So anyway, we're gonna start this right now. It's like 500 pages. It's a little bit intimidating. There's a bajillion million words on each page. They're pretty small, but it's fine. I'm really excited. Ooh, there's a planet map, if you guys can see that at all. Oh wait, this is actually really interesting. There are different moon lords who live on each planet, and like houses kind of almost. But yeah, most of our story takes place on Mars. Part 1. Rhodes! Rhodes! He's a good boy. Hello. That's crazy, Rhodes. That's crazy. Update for you guys on Morning Star. Is this my first update? I think so. I can't remember. But I am this far in. I'm on page 186, slowly but surely making my way. Also, it is, oh gosh, what's the date today? Date today. I think it is the 24th, and I have, I believe, 6 days left until the end of the month. So I've been reading this for 4 days, and I'm about 40% of the way through. So hopefully that means we can finish it. But I always find it hard to, like, I guess, talk about a book that's a part of a series in a video, because some of you might not have read the other books before it. And obviously we're no spoilers here on this channel unless I specify. So the beginning of this book was different. Our main character Darrow was more so reliant on people than he has been thus far in the story because of what happened at the end of the second book. And something was kind of happening at the beginning of this book that I wasn't super happy with. Like, one of the characters was acting kind of annoying that I love, and I was like, why the heck are you acting like this? but then it was resolved in the last like 10 pages. So happy about that. And now we are kind of seeing the Darrow that we all know and love. He's acting more like himself, and I'm so excited to see what happens. I really do wish I read this before now, because it has been almost a year since I've read the second book and over a year since I read the first book. So I just forgot a lot of stuff that happened, and that's not very good with this series because a lot of stuff does happen that is kind of complex, and that even when you are reading the book, you're kind of like, at least me, maybe I'm alone in this, but I was just kind of not like 100% grasping what was going on because it's kind of complex. And all the characters in these books are just so like broken and battered down at times and have gone through so much in their lives that you're just rooting for them so much. Darrow especially, but a lot of the characters in this book, not just him, and you just learn to care so much about them. Yeah, so far the book is really good. Not surprised. There have been some like battle war scenes, and I have found that I'm following along pretty well, whereas I feel like some of the ones in the first two books I had more trouble with that. So I don't know if I'm just paying more attention with this book or what, but I'm finding it a little bit easier to follow along and understand what is happening. So yeah, so far so good. Should be able to finish this by the end of the month still. Probably won't get to any more of my books on my November TBR. I have 2 more that I haven't read yet. Before you say anything, I know I look ridiculous, but I'm trying the sock curls. That's why I look like this. So the girls now. I'm on page 304. That's how far I am. Why am I sitting so hunched over? It's so good. It's literally one thing after another. Action, followed by more action. You think there's gonna be a lull, but there's not. I just can't wait to see how it ends. I was just texting my sister because she lives here now. She just moved here a couple months ago. And now I can give her books to read because I have a lot of books. I said, you would really like this series. You need to read this series. So she's like, okay, after I finish the book I'm reading now, I'll have to borrow it from you. So yay. It's just the best when you like love a book and you just want to share that book with people that you care about or anyone because you just think it deserves to be read by so many people, you know? Which is kind of why I have this channel. Obviously, I love talking about books. Anyway, this has turned into like a rant. I can't talk. Rant about I don't even know what. So I'm gonna stop talking, but my hair is funny. I'm gonna read a little bit more, and then I have one more day of work before Thanksgiving. And I absolutely love Thanksgiving. I love eating food, and I love Thanksgiving food, like stuffing. I love stuffing. I love turkey with some gravy on it and potatoes and then pie. I just couldn't ask for a better meal, and I'm very thankful and blessed that I can eat that meal because not everyone can. Why am I in such a sentimental mood right now? I don't know, but I'm very thankful for lots of things, but I'm very thankful for books, and I'm very thankful for my 404 subscribers. Thank you so much for following along this journey with me, and I am not planning on stopping anytime soon. So I would absolutely love it if you stuck around, and if you're not already subscribed, I would absolutely love to have you join my little corner of the internet where I read books and talk about books. Another person dead. What a surprise. No. That's how this book's gonna go? Really? Of course, I don't know why I'm surprised. page 467, chapter 60. And since I haven't updated you guys in a couple days, it is currently the 29th of the month, so tomorrow's the last day of the month. So I should definitely be finishing this tomorrow. If you guys were just watching, you guys just saw my reaction to like the last chapter. That was actually crazy, and I don't know why I didn't expect it, because I should have. But I didn't expect it. But in true Pierce Brown fashion, you know, he just rips your heart out, and he also shows you why you should never get too comfortable with what's happening, because something goes wrong. I haven't cried in this book yet, but I'm assuming I probably will at the end. That is the update. I'm gonna read a little bit more tonight, and then I'm going to finish this book tomorrow. Alright guys, I did in fact finish Morning Star this morning, so definitely got this read with like 3/4 of the day left to spare. I kind of figured this would happen, but once you reach like, you know, the climax, it's just hard to put down, especially a book like this. And even though most of the book is like a climax, literally things are happening every 20 pages, the end was definitely something. I feel like I had whiplash from this book. As I kind of already said, you just never know what to expect. You think you know something, but you don't. He definitely tricked us. And the end, like the last page, 2 pages, I don't even know what to say about that. I cried. Was not expecting that. I just literally love this book and this series so much. Pierce Brown is a genius. The way he writes is on another level. The characters, how attached you get to them, even when they aren't necessarily like good characters. I know that these books, this series, is not going to be for everybody. You know, I've seen videos on here where people read the first one and it wasn't for them, you know. It was a little just too confusing, and I totally get that. I really do. I was decently confused, specifically in the first book as well. If you are contemplating whether to pick the first one up, I particularly liked the second and third one, this one, better than the first one, but I really liked the first one too. I do think if you really dislike the first one, you probably won't like the rest, but if you liked the first one but weren't 100% sold, I would keep going. But yeah, 5 stars, easy. Probably my favorite book, honestly, out of the whole trilogy. I really loved the second one as well. They were both 5 stars, but something about this one, I don't know if it's because it was the third book, I really understood the lingo and the world and the politics, because we've already had 2 full books of it, or what, but I just love this one so much. I did finish 2 books out of the 4 that I still had to read to completely finish my November TBR in this video, and it is the last day of the month, so won't be able to read another one for sure. But overall, November, I did so good on my monthly TBR. I think I had 7 books on there and I read 5, which is probably almost the best that I've ever done. I don't know specifically if it is or not, but these both were so good. This one, as I said, I think I'm gonna rate 4.5 stars, and this one 5 stars. So highly recommend both of these books, and I feel very accomplished on my monthly TBR. If I would have picked a different book up besides Morning Star for this video, I probably would have had only 1 book left to read. This one did take me, I think, a total of 10 days to read, versus this one I read in 2 days. I mean, it's very short, but if it was like a normal size length of a book, it would have taken me probably 4 days, versus this one took me 10 days. But that is okay. It is not all about reading really fast. It is about enjoying the books that you pick up. That is going to be the end of this reading vlog. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!